You know that frustrating moment when you can play a song perfectly at home, but as soon as you're in front of people, your fingers turn to mush and your mind goes blank. This is something we all go through, and it takes me at least 1 or 2 songs to get comfortable at a gig. And the thing is, it never really goes away. It just gets easier or gets less easy depending on how much you're playing. So if I was touring regularly, which I'm kind of not at the moment, but if I was, then the more I play, then the more comfortable I will get. So usually when I'm on a tour, or when I've done a tour in the past, the last gig at the tour, I'm super relaxed and super comfortable. I know the set, I know what I'm doing, and basically from the get-go, I'm super relaxed. But that is completely different to when the first gig on the start of the tour, I am super nervous. It's the first time, usually the first time in a little while, since I've started playing, so it usually takes me a little while to get into the groove. Anyway, my point is the only way to get comfortable performing is kind of by performing. But what if you're not quite ready to start performing, at least performing in front of a big crowd on a proper stage? What if you're not ready for that yet? And this keeps on coming up in my mentoring sessions. So I've come up with a few strategies and techniques that I feel might help bridge the gap and get you to the place where you might be at least a little bit more comfortable getting on stage in front of an audience and performing. The first thing I would suggest is start recording yourself. Even if no one hears it, just the act of recording yourself creates a little bit more pressure. It's not the same as performing on stage in front of people, but it does kind of create a little bit of that pressure to perform that you kind of need to practice putting that on yourself. So that's a really easy and simple way to start practicing that. So just record yourself at home. Even if you don't have the most fancy equipment in the world, it doesn't matter. Even if you just have your phone, just start recording yourself, start recording your songs, because when we're just practicing our songs at home, being at home is we're the most relaxed we can be when we're at home, because that's what it should be. Our homes should be a place where we can relax and no pressure, but if we want to kind of practice this pressure, which performing does put a little bit more pressure on you for sure, and you want to get used to that and get used to that pressure when you're performing, and recording kind of simulates a little bit of that, what you would get if you were performing on stage. The second thing you can do to practice performing without the act of performing is to then share those recordings. Share them with close friends, other musicians, a safe space to know that you're not going to get ridiculed or criticized or anything that will put you off from playing them and recording them, because that's not what you want. Knowing that recording, when you're recording it, when you're performing it, that will then be heard by other people, that puts a little bit more pressure on yourself. And this is what we want to practice, So this is something that you can do as a little bit more extra than just recording it for yourself. You can share these recordings with other people. And just quickly on the recording, I practice recording myself almost every day, just because I love doing it. I love messing around with microphones and trying different techniques, and just I love recording my music and hearing how that can sound through different microphones and different systems. And so this is something that I just love doing anyway, but I'm also practicing the performance side of things. So I'm practicing recording, I'm practicing performing my songs. So this really helps. So the more you can do it, then kind of the better, you know. So try doing it as much as you can, and whatever you have available, whether it's a microphone, whether it's like just your phone, make sure that it's really easy to set up and use, you know. Make sure that you have it almost ready to go whenever you're ready to start recording, you know. Make sure there's not much friction in between, because the more friction we put in between something, then the less likely we are to do it.
Oh, hey, by the way, if you didn't know, I have a free songwriting community over on my website at fabianholland.com. This is a great resource for all singer, songwriter and guitarists. But shh, don't tell anyone. Just keep it between us. Link is in the description down below. Now back to the video.
The next one is a big one, and this is one that I'm telling myself all the time, and that is slow down. We all speed up when we get nervous. That's just something that happens naturally. But something you can do to counteract that is to figure out a comfortable BPM of the song that you're performing, and then just start a little bit slower than that. You know, give yourself space, give yourself time to perform the song as best you can. Let the song breathe, you know. That's what I'm always telling myself. Just give yourself time. Give the song time and space to breathe. And by starting a little slower, it may sound really strange. It may sound like it's sort of trugging along a little bit. Don't worry about that. You're going to speed up, especially when you're performing. You know, it just happens. Something that happens all the time. And by starting a little slower, you know, you're just kind of counteracting that, because you can guarantee that you are going to speed up by the end of the song. You know, that's just something that happens. So this is something that you can just do, and it's something that I tell myself to do every time I perform or record. Of course, you can play in front of family and friends. That's something you can do as well, and I really encourage that. But this is something also you can do as well as that, or if you feel that you're not ready to play in front of your family and friends yet, then this is something you can do to practice before you start doing that. You know, this is a good stepping stone towards that. And also something just as an extra note, don't try and be perfect. I know I've said this many times in other videos, but I'll just keep saying it all the time. When you're performing, don't try and play every note perfectly. It's most likely not going to happen. I never perform any of my songs perfectly, or the way that exactly how I want to in my head, you know. I always make mistakes, and that's just going to happen. That's part of it. So don't worry about that, or try not to worry about that. I mean, you are going to worry about that, but just try your best not to worry about that. The most beautiful performances often come from when we aren't trying to be perfect. It's when we're just focused on sharing the song with others. When we shift our mindset from I need to play this perfectly to I need to share this song, something magical happens. So I really hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. If you want to keep on watching, then click on the screen now. I'll leave a couple of options for you here. Other than that, have a great day, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.